You know, most of us take walking for granted, and it isn't until something happens to us that we realize what we once had. And that's what happened to Bob Brewster. When he was in his early 20s, he was in a motorcycle accident that left him without the use of both legs. But that didn't stop him. And so he built a motorized wheelchair for highway use. And he decided to take that wheelchair and travel all the way across the country from New York City to San Francisco. Well, on tonight's PM Magazine, we'll meet Bob and find out why some people say his middle name is Courage. On August 16, 1980, 39-year-old Bob Brewster of Long Island crossed the Golden Gate Bridge. It was the end of a 2-month cross-country journey in a wheelchair. "16 years ago, Bob lost the use of his legs in a motorcycle accident.
I was racing on a dirt track up in Walden, New York. I was coming down, I was coming so hard, I was leading everybody. I was just about a lap ahead, maybe not quite a lap ahead of everybody. And I was really pushing. I was turning on, and right at the end of this straightaway, you got a left-hand turn. You come down, and I remember just about laying it down and going along sideways, and the bike hit something and flipped me up and right over into a brook. And I landed down in the brook somewhere. I don't remember the rest of it.
As a motorcycle racer, Bob was, needless to say, an active, wild kind of guy. And he was only 21 when the accident happened. So obviously Bob had some serious adjustments he had to make, both mentally and physically.
It was a deep state of depression. I just didn't want to do anything, and then I brought myself out of it. It was kind of hard at first, not being able to walk, but little by little I just got around and started doing things. When the rehabilitation hospital, I built myself a motorized cart with a lawnmower motor, and it got me around. I've been going ever since.
Building that motorized cart was just the beginning. Determined to continue enjoying life as much as possible, Bob spent a lot of time and hard work teaching himself to get around comfortably and easily in a wheelchair. Daily chores most of us take for granted, like going to the supermarket for a quart of milk, were obstacles Bob had to overcome. Now, not only does he do the shopping for his wife Barbara, but he helps her in the garden and around the house as well. Bob is a top mechanic, and he spends a great deal of time in his garage repairing things for friends and neighbors and working on perfecting his motorized wheelchair, an invention he hopes will be commercially successful and one that will liberate Bob and many other handicapped people.
I first dreamed it up when I was in the hospital. I was laying in bed, didn't know what to do, so I asked my wife to bring me in a ruler and a compass and some sketch paper, and I drew up the plans, and I got out of the hospital and I went home and made it, and it worked. I think this is the greatest thing for getting around. It beats walking.
So a few years later, after he had perfected his invention, Bob decided to take his wheelchair to California. He says he did it for the challenge and to show handicapped people that a new, easy way does exist for them to get around. And as his wife Barbara says, there was no stopping him, even though he was in the hospital a couple of weeks earlier with blood poisoning.
When Bob does something, if he's going to do it, he's going to do it. He worked on that motor night and day. It was like, no communication in here. He just worked on that motor. Then he got sick about 3 weeks before he left. He got blood poisoning, and I figured, well, here he was almost 2 weeks in the hospital, and he still had a lot of work to do. But he made that date for June 16th, and he was still working on the motor the night before he left.
So on June 16th, Bob took off for California. His goal? The Golden Gate Bridge.
I had no planning on what route I was going to take when I left New York. When I get into a state, I'd get the map of the state and look at the best road and just take it.
He traveled by day and slept by night. He slept in motels, inns, fire stations, police stations.
I slept out in the open, right out under the stars in Ohio and Indiana.
Sometimes strangers were even kind enough to let him stay the night at their homes and make him a home-cooked meal. But most of the time, he looked for the Golden Arches. But the trip wasn't all rosy for Bob. Traveling in the summer, he spent many days through the Midwest in 120-degree heat. He was burned and parched and sometimes doubtful of surviving.
And there were times that I didn't think I was going to make it across the United States. I laid back in a motel and Tony and I said, what am I doing this for?
What were you doing there?
It was a challenge. It was to see if I could still get out there and do it, you know.
And he did do it, because 2 months to the day after he left New York, Bob reached his goal.
He just looked so happy. It was great. It was really...
Well, I really was happy.
He was happy. He was very, very tired.
It was just determination, keep on going. I mean, life doesn't stop here when you're in a wheelchair. It's something that I never did stop going, and I guess I'll keep on going.
Congratulations, you made it.
Thank you very much.
You think you'll ever try it again?
I don't think so. It was kind of hot and kind of a lot of traffic. It was kind of dangerous, and I'm here and I made it.
Once is enough.
That's right.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
We'll be back in a moment with a look at tomorrow night's PM magazine, so stay with us.